Hey guys, it's Paul and Ray with the No Color Thick Skin podcast. We're back at it again with episode 28.
Wow.
Man.
Wow. Couldn't believe it.
Season 2. This is crazy, guys. We are so excited and blessed and so happy to be here with you and talking about topics that matter. Today we've got more than a few, and we're going to kind of jump straight into it. Ray, how was your week?
Man, if I had a very, very busy week. All right.
Nice.
It's been a busy few weeks, I think I can say. I've spoken to you about a few things that have transpired. I had another one of my older coworkers pass away within the past 2 weeks, and had a nice little memorial service for him. So I'm glad I was able to be there with his family. We had just some of these nights that I've been working have just been endless, and my eyes are getting heavy. I've been looking for all different types of numbing eye drop agents just to try to help, Then the allergies trying to keep my eyes open, man.
Yeah.
And the allergies that doesn't help. So I have this thing called keratoconus. It's it's a disease of the corneas. And
you should stop that.
It's I'm trying, I'm trying. I'm striving to get better, but it has a way of working itself once we get into that spring, summertime, and it's tough for me. But we've been good. The kids are great. A few awards ceremonies that I've been able to go to, and that just makes me so happy to see them awesome. Doing well and participating and being champion for just being good kids. That is, I think as a parent, you just can't get any much more joy than just when a teacher comes up and says, "Hey, like, you have a good kid." It's like, oh, what? Oh man, this is amazing, right? It's great.
I'm doing something right.
Especially with me being a knucklehead and not knowing what I'm doing half the time. But those kids are great. So I'm like you said, we are blessed for sure, and just glad to be able to keep moving and grooving. We have our second class at the Jerry Institute, so I'll be in Tyler this weekend, showing these great young people how to do some great work in our profession, and just continuing to go day by day, buddy. So I'm done rambling. What about you, man? What's new in your world?
Oh boy. So I am starting a mobile coffee business. Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. So basically, it's serving espresso based drinks, coffee drinks out of a trailer, which doesn't sound very cool, but it is. It's pretty neat. So we'll be posted up in about a month or so, hopefully, all things working right. Should be up north in the Valley View area, serving espresso drinks, morning time, and then in the evening, afternoon, evening time, whatever, we'll be doing events. So weddings and, fairs and all different kinds of, events.
Just showing up and just giving everybody all of that good coffee.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I've been doing that, trying to coordinate all the different things that go into that. And then my kids are graduating, their grade and going into the next grade, which is my oldest is almost not this next year, but the year after she's going into high school, which is nuts. So yeah, that's a lot.
It is. It is.
My youngest is going into kindergarten, so that's nice.
That's my buddy right there.
Yeah,
that's my buddy.
He is your buddy.
That's my buddy, man.
So we're really excited, really blessed, really. The kids are definitely excited for summer to come around.
Nice.
Pool weather and chilling and going to do fun things like all the camps.
All of the camps.
Cheerleading camp, horseback riding camp, just different, things. So we'll see how it all goes down. But
Yeah, I wonder why
lots of
we,
things.
us dads, us real dads, we work so hard. It's because all these extracurricular activities that these kids are signed up for and have to be a part of,
Hey.
They're not free 99. All right, it takes a couple $dollars to get them there, and
Just a few.
just a couple $dollars. And I need to make sure that these kids get the fun and excitement and those experiences. Those are important, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Hugely important, man. So,
100%.
But back to this coffee, man. So you've been dibbling and dabbling in coffee for a little while, for a few years, and I would call you a coffee aficionado when it comes to coffee. And I sent you a picture. I won't disclose the name of said retail coffee place. And I told you that I had a long night, and I went to this place, and they recommended this drink. And it had 6 shots of espresso in it.
Oh my
gosh. Let me tell you something, buddy. I got a bone to pick with you because it was amazing.
It was amazing, yeah.
It was amazing. This was my first time ever having something like that, and I got the sugar-free and had to do the the lactose. I can't really have the milk.
Special
Just
milk.
give me something special because I don't need to feel like I got the Q dogs, stumping
don't need any
in my
of that.
stomach for the rest of the day. So make it light. So they hooked it up, and I devoured that before I pulled into my work parking lot. And when I tell you I was on 1,000 the whole day, it was amazing. And I had 4 of them over the next couple of days.
Oh my God.
And I was like, all right, I don't have the money to be spending like this. So I need to bring it down. I got to bring it down.
Dude.
But I'm upset with you. Why didn't you tell me espresso was as great as it was? So
Well, I assumed that you had tried
do
it.
some explaining right now. Why didn't you tell me that the espresso was as amazing as it is?
Well, I don't have a good reason. I have no good reason.
Wow. But man, I go to you for like anything coffee related, and I know that this is embarking on a new journey. It's tough.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
But the way that I know how you appreciate, love, and care about coffee, man, you're going to be great, man. You're going to be great. So I
think it'll do really well.
Yeah, I have no doubts about it. Like I said, I know there's some trepidation and just flapping them little wings and getting started. But I know as soon as you get to flying, man, it's going to be awesome. And I'm going to tell you,
Thanks, man.
I'm coming first day, baby.
Yeah.
I need the largest beverage you can put, and I need all the espressos.
Oh man.
I need 9.
We'll do a bowl.
Give me a whole
Espresso bowl.
I
Oh,
need 9.
that's something. Patent pending on that. Espresso bowl.
Right. Oh man. Well, good luck. Like I said, I'm gonna support you, man. I don't care. Like I'm drive wherever the heck I need to drive, and I'm going to get me some of that coffee. You also did a little performance. I don't want to throw too much into that.
Lordy.
You were doing a little singing out there in the world. Everybody don't need to know where you were, but I heard it was pretty nice. And congratulations on getting back into singing and playing instruments and writing songs and things, man. I'm just in awe of your talent. So
Thanks, man.
It's great to see, man. Like I think you're a great dude with a lot of talent, and just seeing you get out there and sing and do the things that you do, man. I think it's wonderful. So keep up the great work that you're doing, buddy.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I have played a very small venue, played the guitar and sang a few songs, and I realized that either I need to do this way more often or I need to stop.
Oh, come on, man. Come on.
Because playing in front of people is like it's an animal. Yeah. For me in particular, I get up. Normally, I'm actually kind of a shy person. And so what I do, my method of talking to people is like I pick one person and talk to them and then move on to the next person type thing. So when I'm up in front of a big group of people, either I'm like, that's my job to do that, or, it's in this gray area in my mind where I'm like, I can command an audience, but as soon as I try to sing a song, the lyrics just go poof. And so, yeah, it's a problem. And I'm sure if I did it more often, it would be less intimidating and it wouldn't mess with me. But anyways, it was a good time. I really enjoyed what we were doing it for. It was a benefit for the survivors of the tornado in Sulphur, Oklahoma. So anyways, it was a good time. We were up at Old Timers venue up in Valley View. Shout out to them. They're really good guys. Anyhow, I heard you did some really amazing, what do you call it, reconstructive work?
Yeah, we're gonna just it was we had a lot going on, and unfortunately there was a tough loss in the family, and it was presented to them that they were not going to be able to go forward with the type of services that they wanted. I just went to the family, just asked if they could give me a little time just to see if I could do a little something just to help. And I was able to do that and give them what they wanted. So that was it was pretty big, and I'm grateful that I was able to do that for the family. But can't really disclose a whole lot with that, just due to the sensitive nature of it. But that's another one of those moments where it's like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is a great feeling, and
that's beautiful.
I'm just glad that I was able to do that for them, because a lot of people would have thrown in the towel and just told them, nope, don't do it. There's no way, not happening. But I spent countless hours up there just taking my time, doing everything I could to achieve what became what we needed to achieve, and I'm glad I was able to do it, and the family was very happy. And I've been adopted by so many different families out here in the area, so I got another family that's adopted me as a cousin, and got so many family reunions I'm gonna have to make it to this summer.
Oh man,
so just I just need everybody to make sure that they got them ribs right, and everything will be just fine. So, but
that's awesome, man. I'm sure that
Thanks,
they appreciate that.
100%. Yep, 100%. So. But we got a lot to talk about, man. There's been so many things going on in the world, man. We can't even.
And this is probably just a few things of all the many things that are going on. I know that one thing we're not going to touch today is the Trump trial. Oh my gosh!
Oh my goodness, man! I must pass for me.
Yeah, I
will pass. But so there was a situation that took place at a pretty famous gym. And when I say gym, I don't mean like JIM, gym, a workout gym. Like, a gym had, I guess the best way to say this is an elderly woman who was born a woman went into, listen, man, come on.
The best way to say this is
a woman who was born a woman.
The best way to say this is
the rules change, the words change, the rules change every week, and I can't keep up. So
we're trying our best, guys.
I'm trying. We're striving to be better. But an elderly woman walked into the female side of Planet Fitness, and inside there was a person who was, I guess, transitioning or trying to transition, and stated that they presented as a woman or as a female, but it looked just like Steve Nash, pretty much just standing at the mirror, and there was no denying that this person was a little out of place there aesthetically. The lady was a little uncomfortable, asked if they could be removed. She goes to the front desk, asks the front desk workers if, hey, can we make this more comfortable for everyone? There was a underage girl, I think, that was in there as well. And they said, no, this person identifies as a woman, so we're going to let them be there. And if you're uncomfortable, you can leave. So she goes in, takes a picture of the individual who was there shaving in the female side
Shaving their face.
Shaving their face. Just shaving. Doing a full shave, kind of like what Paul has right now, clean shave type of a deal. And she takes a picture. She comes back the next day to work out, and they've canceled her membership. The elderly woman. They canceled her membership because they stated she pulled her phone out, took a picture of this person. She was no longer welcome. And this started a whole thing of people finding out about this, and they were canceling their memberships to the tune of, I believe, almost $400 million was lost by Planet Fitness in this time frame. They had to, the CEO resigned. They've had to get rid of a few people within the organization. And it's been a lot, man. It's been so much that's been going on. And it gets to a point to where are the lines? What are we doing? How do we, navigate this to where situations like this aren't happening as much as they are?
Yeah. Well, it seems like there are. Yeah, I mean, there are going to be establishments that have to be very specific in the way that they word who can go into what side of the men's locker room, women's locker room, trans locker room, or, if you got this part, you go here. If you got this part, you go here. I don't know. I feel kind of bad for people with gendered bathrooms and showers and stuff like that, just because it is difficult,
Right.
Whatever side you are on, whatever you champion or whatever, it's got to be hard. It's got to be hard owning a place like that. I actually work out at a gym, and so do you, don't you? Do you work out at the gym?
Upstairs? Yeah, it's called the upstairs. I can't afford all that.
So there's a place that I go to that they have boys and girls locker rooms with showers, with stalls, with all that stuff. They even got a little new sauna thing, and people. I don't see very many people there. There's not that many people that go to our gym that. I go in kind of weird hours. But I would imagine, like back in the day, men used to just, go through the locker room pretty naked. And nowadays it seems like they don't do that so much anymore, which is nice, actually.
Right.
But anyways, back to, I think it's difficult for any organization to fix or delegate or delineate between, what's the right move, other than, there's no more locker rooms. I don't know. And it would just be so expensive for a company to have like lots of individual rooms, I would imagine, for people. So, that would be a solution for maybe other different types of businesses, but I don't know. Like I know a lot of like convenience stores have gone to unisex bathrooms,
right,
so
right,
anybody can go in,
right?
Which is fine. Honestly, that's way more convenient, because if you're sitting there waiting on the men's restroom while the women's is unoccupied, I mean, you're just silly for not using that other bathroom, because
really,
if you got to go, you got to go.
Listen, I don't care what the sign says. If it's just a one stall, and like 3 guys standing stall there, and I can go into one. I'm going in the women's restroom. I'm going to use the restroom. I'm going to lock the door. Okay, I'm not a pig. I'm not going to mess over the place. I'm going to keep it clean, but I'm not about to stand here while these doofuses are just being silly and da-da-da, and I can go and use the restroom and go back. So, no, I'm not doing it. Yeah, it's tough to, like you said, when you're in a public trading company, like a big time company and an organization like this, to where you are held to the fire differently than maybe some of the smaller. Yeah, it's tough. So you have to think about a lot of these things that are going on in the world. But it's just how far is too far, I guess, when we at the end of the day, like how far is too far, and I feel as if we'll be able to speak on that a little more here momentarily, but
we'll come back up,
bring it back around. We can bring that around because that is something to see, and I will feel the same way. Let's say if my son was in the male portion, the male side, and the men's side, and then there was someone who had her chesticles, just out walking around, and just had a different midsection than what we all had. I don't want my son to be seeing all that at a young age, and now he all just thinking about all different types of. No, man, I want the same across the board. So just because it happens with my daughters, I'm going to hold the same for my son as well. Like, I don't want my son to be in that situation to where he's having to figure out things just on the fly because this person looks a little different and they have different parts and these things are happening. Yeah, I mean, it should be the same across the board. So, yeah, I don't know, man. But they lost a lot of money. And I think that's one of those things where people have to, I think organizations have to do a better job at understanding what having that inclusion type of a thing, that inclusive feel in the organization in that space versus trying to quote unquote be woke. I think those are two totally different things. And I think being woke is more of that feeling like, hey, if they feel this way, they do this, they identify, then we'll do that. But I feel as if with the inclusion and making sure that everyone is being tapped in, every part of the organization is being tapped in, that's more data driven. But I mean, that's neither here nor there, but the woke thing, I think, will put a lot of corporations under doing that versus just looking at the numbers. Because I'm pretty sure if they did a poll of everybody who was a member of Planet Fitness and they stated, hey, if someone with with something additional on their body that's different than yours, would you be comfortable with it? I'm pretty sure a lot of them would be like, no, I would not like to be
in the changing
room with someone who has an additional parts of their body than I do. I'm pretty sure. I'm not going to say I'm the smartest guy out there, but I'm sure the majority of people would be like, nah. So that's one of those.
That's okay.
That's what I'm saying. That's one of those woke things versus the numbers. But
yeah.
Another thing that we saw, unfortunately, the president of Iran passed away in a pretty tough accident. It was a helicopter accident that took place day before yesterday. It really it stirred up kind of those Kobe Bryant feels again, with the helicopter and not being able to see all that well and still traveling. It's like, man, like why do we put ourselves in these risks to do these things and make these trips? Or
why is anybody riding in a helicopter
in
anymore?
the fog? Like and in the fog, like in fog.
In the fog.
Like, what are we doing?
Or
like,
in the clear.
Yeah. It's
why do
wild.
people do that?
I have no idea, but yeah. So thoughts and prayers to him, and his family for the passing. But now it's like, all the things that are happening over there overseas, and who's giving aid to who, and in the whole war with Palestine and Israel, and then you got Gaza, and you got this and that, and Iran is supposed to be a backside player to be funding certain things, and so it's like, what's about to happen now? The
Hamas?
president, I mean, could be, they could do something and overtake some. I don't know. I'm just trying to. Hey, man, it's a lot that can happen. So all we're saying is make sure that you keep your ears open, keep your eyes open, because anything can transpire right now. Because a lot of people can see this as a moment of weakness, and when it's a moment of weakness, that's when we see a lot.
That's when the things go bump in the night.
People start creeping in, and they can do some stuff. So yeah, just that was something that was different, but
strange time for that to happen too.
Strange time.
Then again, it was a helicopter.
Yeah, I know. Let's stay out of those. Let's stay out of
Oh my
those.
gosh.
Oh, I wonder if Diddy ever had a helicopter, but who knows?
I know what he did have.
What did Diddy have?
He had a beatdown.
But he didn't.
He gave a beatdown.
Okay, all right, there you go. He didn't have a beatdown. He should have a beatdown. Diddy did do a beatdown. That's
He done did one.
Diddy done did a beat.
Diddy done did.
Diddy done
did a beatdown.
Diddy done did the beatdown.
That sounds like we're saying a weird song. Diddy done beat the Cotton Eye Joe.
Where did Diddy go?
Diddy done did the Cotton Eye Joe. Where did he go?
So
where did he go?
He need to go to hell's where he needs to go. So the crazy thing about this with Diddy, and so we're talking about Diddy, P. Diddy, Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, whatever you want to call him. There's a video that was released of he and Cassie were at a hotel, and
Who is Cassie
So
again?
Cassie, there we go. Look at you. Okay, I'm sorry. So Cassie is a young lady who dated Diddy for a few years. Maybe got married. I still
Something or other.
but they had a very, very long-term relationship,
Right.
And there were speculation and people with rumors talk about how he would treat her bad and all these
Right.
different things, and
Right.
put his hands on her and just despicable things. But no one saw anything as far as proof was seen. She filed a lawsuit, I believe, last year.
That's right.
He settled the next day. I think it was like 30 million, 30, 50 mil, something like that.
Oh my
He
gosh.
settled the next day. And so people were like, that's kind of weird. But he was like, hey, just because I settled, this isn't an admission of guilt. I'm just tired of all this and people speculating and saying things about me and making up lies and rumors, and I've never done anything wrong. So he's, being defiant in this time, right? And then all of a sudden this video comes out. And it's he, Cassie, they're in a hotel. You can see her trying to leave the hotel room that they're in to go to the elevator. And he runs out the room with a towel on, and he walks up to her and just knocks her out. Just knocks her in the face. It's on camera. She is laid down,
Whoa.
and then he kicks her twice and picks her up, throws her around, starts throwing glass items at her in the hallway. And this is in a hotel, like on a hotel floor, like a popular hotel.
Ooh.
So this is in public. This is what he's doing to her in public. So we're seeing all this, and then all of a sudden, he puts out an apology. I'm sorry, I was in a bad place, and this, that. And it's like, man, we sat up here and we listened to you you looked right in the camera and just lied. And it's like, how do you get to a place to where, and I think we discussed this when people become affluent with money and how their lives are changed and how they perceive
change.
things. Yeah. And so we're looking at someone who's accumulated a huge amount of wealth, able to go anywhere, do anything that he wants to do. I'm pretty sure in his mind he was like, okay, this is never getting out, because it happened the video is 2016. And so I'm sure he's like, this is never getting out. Nobody said anything. And to just be able to, I guess, to have the mindset that you can sit here and just lie to everyone and know that, feel that your truth is the truth. How do you get there? Because and mentally for me, it just doesn't make sense. I couldn't look at you if I took like a loose leaf sheet of your paper, like a loose leaf piece of paper of yours, and you asked me, hey, did you take this loose leaf paper? I'm gonna be like, it's just a loose leaf piece of paper.
You start sweating really bad.
Oh man, wow.
Man,
you know what? I did. My bad, bro. My bad. Like, how can you be so quick to just say all these things are lies, and I don't know, like, help me out. Like, how do you get to that mind, that frame of mind?
Well, I think people that enjoy power like to dominate others, and that's real unfortunate and how they, the more power that they get over other people, especially, it seems like the more of that side of them comes out that wants to show that, you're not going to get away, like you're mine, like you're like possessed by them. And usually those people are very like, they have to have somebody to manipulate or to, whether it's physical or like mental manipulation, or a lot of times both. And then they kind of get stuck in this role where they have to be that person, and then the victim has to be a victim. Like they're messed up from it, so they just can't see themselves living without being the victim of this other person's abuse. And that's unfortunately very common, I think, in especially like domestic violence and stuff like that. People get really mentally addicted to that feeling of that person, that they don't like getting beaten necessarily, not all of them anyway, but sometimes, I mean, they think differently about being violent and rough, and it gets in their head, and anyway,
that's sad, man. It's really sad, and just seeing that that young lady just scared, and just the fear that I'm sure that she had, and and a lot of people just, they thought that she was just being a money-hungry person when she put the lawsuit out. A lot of people said she just seeking attention.
Can't believe that.
That like it's crazy how many people were like, she's trying to just destroy this man. She has no evidence. She's just trying to get a payday. This is her last big, her last golden ticket before. She's all the way washed up and done. And it was like, no, man, this dude was beating the ish out of this woman. And I just don't have the wherewithal to be able to understand how that happens, and just to, because she's remarried, she's married now. And, man, I don't know if I could be the husband or the father or the brother of Cassie, and to see those things, and me and Diddy ain't tussling somewhere. Like, I don't care how many bodyguards or whatever you got around you. We got to do some furniture moving somewhere. I'm going to find you, and I got to put my hands on you. Like, I have to.
I think I remember seeing, this is totally different, but I remember seeing, and I don't know anything about, I was going to bring up Blueface. And I forget his ex-girl's name. But they were together, and she brought her family over or something like that to an outing of some sort, and her dad was there, and he calls out Blueface, and I want to say he punched him or something like that. And then Blueface, I guess, punched him back or something, and he's like an actual boxer or something, he got him pretty good.
So he was, trying to take up for the daughter. You saying?
Because he had heard that they had gotten physical, or he got physical with her. And
listen, I get it. Anyway. I get it, man. I get it. And they say two wrongs don't make a right, but when you go low, I'm gonna go low, and I'm gonna take it to the flow. So that's what I'm gonna do. So just be on the up and up with all my children, because even if you put your hands on my son, young lady, I know some folks who I'm gonna call to come and visit you. I'm not gonna put my hands on you, but I'm gonna call some of my little thugger cousins out in the country and have them come pay your visit. That's neither here nor there. I'm getting real emotional right now thinking about somebody hurting my kids. I need to bring it back.
Basically, you just need to try Jesus.
Not me.
Not me.
Why is that, Paul?
Because I throw hands.
Man, that is the truth. That is the truth, man. Oh, boy. Well, We left the people with a little bit of suspense on our last
Yeah.
episode, man.
Yeah.
And we said we were going to revisit that and talk on that.
So, how comfortable do we have to make it for some versus the majority? And this kind of encompasses a few what we were talking about with Planet Fitness, and so like I guess transgenderism, and even all the way over to like DEI and CRT, critical race theory, or diversity, equity, inclusion.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And all these things, to how do we appease everyone? And I think maybe at first glance you think, well, no, I mean, obviously not everybody can be happy with one thing,
Right.
So
many different personalities, so many different people, so many
Right.
different everything, like just so many differences, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have to do something called compromising. And you can do cool things like, obviously I would like for you to get into DEI. So I think it's worth mentioning, especially in this context, the difference, at least the difference that you believe there is between DEI and CRT.
Right, all those.
But I think in my head, when I think of these different things, I think just kind of like what we were talking about, especially in schools, we're teaching students all this different curriculum, and can't we just teach it the way it's supposed to be, like the actual history of things, math, science, if we're talking about the history of science, maybe there's some black scientists out there that, discovered different things. Maybe I know that there are. There's all different kinds of people involved in all these different subjects, right? And so I absolutely do think that some things have a place in the school system, and some things don't.
So let's talk about some
let's
of those.
get into it.
Well, what you say some do and some don't. What are some of those things that I guess you would say don't? If I play devil's advocate for a brief moment.
So I think if higher education is like grade school, especially, I think that kids need to learn the basics. Like, okay, this is we're not learning anatomy. Yeah.
Reading, writing, arithmetic.
Yeah, reading, writing, arithmetic, how to be a friend, how to tie your shoe. It's good to brush your teeth.
Put on some deodorant.
Put on some deodorant.
Every day.
It's later years, but yeah, for sure.
Day.
And then once you get into high school, okay, we're going to talk a little bit more about this. And hey, this happened with slavery. Hey, this happened with, over in other countries. You had the Crusades. You had the Mongols. What were those guys called?
The Mongolian tribes would cut.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, the little bit of Asian guy who killed everybody.
Everybody has, a lot of people have this guy's DNA in them somehow.
Man, what is his name? It's going to make me mad.
That guy.
Paul. Yep,
that guy. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Genghis Khan. There you go.
Genghis Khan. Yeah. Cold dude. Right.
So that guy. That's what I think. I think there are things that are like age appropriate. Mm-hmm. And, my kid doesn't really know the difference between him and his buddy Micah. Mm-hmm. And his buddy Micah's, both of his parents are black. So he's, black. And he's like, Micah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
my buddy Micah.
My boy Micah. Yeah.
And that's, I mean, awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
It's so awesome because there's no like, this or that about,
You see the video
complications
with the kid saying like,
of
"Hey, what
things.
color are you?" And he's like,
Yeah.
I'm pink. Like I'm pink. It's
Yeah.
like a kid who looks like you or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, yeah, that's cool. He's not really on that, and his family are giving him the right information to just be open and just not even think about white and black and this or that. Just have friends. But so I guess when we and I get exactly what you mean when it's the age appropriate things, when we should or shouldn't talk to kids about certain things. I think that's very important, and I think those things are, I'll say it as those are subjective to each family, but I
Right.
feel that I feel that everyone, well, the majority of everyone are a lot closer to those things versus that wide cast that we see on the news and on the media as far as people who may think this way or think that way. But
Right.
when we look at DEI, so diversity, equity, inclusion, I look at that as being the complete opposite of woke. Like I said, I feel woke is something that's a feeling. Woke is something that is, I'm just doing this to be against this. Like so you like this person.
White bad.
I'm gonna find everything bad about this person. I'm just gonna we're gonna cancel this and all that. And that's that woke stuff where I look at, like I said, DEI is data. I feel data-driven things are important versus those things that are of your feelings. Like I tell my family all the time, fornicate your feelings. I don't care about your feelings. Fornicate your feelings, okay? I don't care. So because I don't care about your feelings when I'm looking at logic, and logic is saying this is that, well, I don't like the way, I don't care. Like, okay, well, don't like it and you can go over there, but I'm not going to join that party. So when I look at, as we said, how comfortable do we have to make some to where so many people are uncomfortable? I guess each organization, I guess where you work, you have your policies and your procedures as far as how things go and how things work. But if, let's say hypothetically, and I'm not trying to be trite when I say this, but if you are working in a predominantly small business with Christians, just I'll say like 80%, 85% Christians are working at this this paper mill or whatever, and they go to church quite often. The good community people, they donate to the CCA, they give to the homeless, and they're doing all these things. And let's say someone gets hired and they're going through their transition stage, all right? And so it's Mike.
Which is not uncommon.
Okay,
Really
Mike.
not.
So now we got Mike. Mike is transitioning to Michelle. And Mike has a beard long as mine. Yeah, but Mike comes to work with eyelashes, makeup, and a whole dress on. 6'3", 225. And got a whole dress on, and is appearing to be the person who who Mike feels that they're transitioning into. And we have Susie, who's been sugar sweet her whole time here at the organization, just isn't feeling it. So we got Susie isn't feeling it, Martha isn't feeling it, Jim is uncomfortable, Steve is uncomfortable. So a lot of people who are in the building are so uncomfortable with what's going on, not being rude, not being trite, not being not wishing anything bad, but it's like, what? Okay, so now I have to watch when I go to the bathroom versus when they go to the bathroom. I have to feel this way and that way, and that's the places where we're looking at, where's the line, So where do you have to say, all right, if majority of the people who work here in this organization with us are not comfortable because of this, why is the one more important than the 40? You got 40 over here who are uncomfortable, one who is trying to get to that place of comfort, but making all 40 uncomfortable. Who decides who's more important to the overall goal of what's trying to be accomplished in this organization?
Wow.
That was a lot. I'm sorry. I was on one, but
Well, you can't be fired because of your gender.
Right.
Well, your sex. You can't say, sorry, this is a boys only business. But I mean, it's probably based off of state and stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure you can be like, hey, look, we just don't want you here because you're causing a distraction with your stuff that you got going on. I'm sure in states like California and stuff like that, it's probably big no-nos to do that. You'd probably get sued into the ground. But maybe places like Texas, it would be like, yeah, you're causing a distraction. Everybody here would really like for you to go find a different place to work because this is not working out. You're making this your priority versus, doing your paper mill job, and causing, other people can't do their job because of the things and whatever. There's probably not very many situations where that will happen.
Right.
But I could see it where, just like if you're the owner of a business and you don't want to have like 20,000 bathrooms, you're probably like, hey, use one of these, family bathrooms, or use one of these, whatever bathrooms if you don't feel comfortable or whatever. Yeah, it's that part is how far do you go for the comfort of one versus the many? I don't know. It probably depends on the objective of the company. Their
Make money.
core beliefs.
Make money.
I think there's a lot of companies out there that are willing to make sacrifices for the LGBTQ community. Particularly the trans community, probably just because it's kind of like in right now, and they'll get some sort of acknowledgement from the media or from their staff or whatever. It'll make them look good, and so probably a lot of them will do things like that.
Yeah, for sure.
But if it becomes a thing where, like at Planet Fitness, where it's a real problem,
and that's why I say that's not authentic. It's not authentic. That wasn't authentic of them. They didn't do the research. They did not get the information from their core, from their base, from the people who pay them, like the people who are associated with Planet Fitness, who pay their memberships, were not included in what was something that was a rule that was mandated by corporate, and those people showed it with their pocketbooks that, hey, we don't like it.
And I think that sounds so that particular situation at Planet Fitness, it seems like nobody should be taking pictures of other people in a bathroom.
I get that. 100%.
That's not cool.
100%.
And if that's against their policy, then yeah, for sure, 100% they're gone.
Get it.
But at the same time, before that, you noticed, there's a person that shouldn't be in this bathroom based off of how I feel, right? But I mean, traditionally, that's how it's been for my whole lifetime, right? So definitely shouldn't be a girl in the bathroom shaving her legs while I'm in the locker room, in the men's locker room.
Right.
Probably shouldn't be happening. And, if I've got a problem with it, then I'm going to go tell these guys, and they have no problem with it. Then who's going to believe me if I don't take a picture, right?
Right.
That's probably what this lady was thinking.
Right.
I assume. So
having some evidence and some proof on our side.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just a strange time, because there's always been people that didn't feel, comfortable in their own skin, and whether you feel like them changing their body is a good thing or a bad thing, regardless of that. It's been around for a long time. That is not new. That is not new at all. There have been cross-dressers, and there's what's the thing called when people I say drag. That's it.
Yeah.
Yep, drag. And then, but that's all kind of a little bit different, but along the same vein of like, they want to express this thing that they've got inside of them, right? But I feel like personally, if I was in that situation, and just like this is quite a bit different from racial stuff, but if you find a black person in the locker room, I'm not going to be like, ah.
Oh boy, you gonna get your arse kicked.
That's a little strange.
But so let's look at a race. Let's look at it corporation and race. Then let's go there. So we have Planet Fitness, who was doing something. I guess we could say they were trying to be the I. So they were trying to be inclusive with what they stood on. With, hey, we're going to let this trans female
strong stance on I.
Strong stance on the I. Right. So let's look at the diverse part. Let's look at Nike. So let's. I'm about to get into my bag right quick. Right. I'm about to get in my bag. And listen, I love you, Paul. All right. And
let's do it.
We can have this and we can do this. It's all love at the end of the day. So we'll look at Nike, corporation, multi-billion-dollar corporation, right?
Yep.
So Nike knows their base. Right. Nike knows their base. There's a base for Nike, right? Nike did a huge campaign with a gentleman who was a quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, who gained a lot of popularity for taking a knee during the national anthem.
Yep.
In the National Football League when the national anthem was played.
What was his name?
It's a young gentleman by the name Colin Kaepernick. All right. Colin Kaepernick signed a pretty huge deal with Nike and became a Nike spokesman.
Was that after he did the knee thing?
So yes. Right. So that was part of.
He got let go, and then they.
Yeah.
Or was
after,
it
no,
during?
Yeah, no. It was. Yeah. He didn't get a new contract, so it was during the time when he was trying to get back into the NFL. Nike signed him and signed him to a pretty big deal. He was the face. They put a whole line out, a whole Colin Kaepernick line, and that is a $1 billion business understanding its base. And I say that because, all right, you look at certain stations, let's say Fox News or Breitbart, any of the more conservative stations at that time, and you would see certain people take like their Nike Air Monarchs and their, let's say like this old $7 Nike T-shirt or some old Nike shorts, and they're burning them. So they're burning Nike apparel, right? So they're like, oh, we're boycotting Nike. We don't like Nike, so we're throwing all our Nike stuff away. Okay, guess what? You are not a part of the base of the consumer that Nike is going after. You want to know who Nike goes after? People who kind of like what it is that Colin Kaepernick was doing. And you know who those are? Those are the people who are spending $300 on pairs of Nike shoes because that's their base. So they understood the assignment. Nike was like, okay, this is our base. We can actually jump out, do this. We're still going to have the support because the people who purchase our luxury items, they actually kind of agree with what's going on here. So that's when I say when the DEI, so now they're smart. The data says, okay, some of the conservatives, they may not like this, but guess what? How many of these conservatives are spending $400 on these J's that just dropped? Not a whole lot. How many of them got 19 pair of LeBron shoes in their closet? Not a whole lot. So that's when I say you have to know your base. You have to know what it is that you're doing, and you have to know if you're going to have the support. That's doing data. That's DEI is data. That's what I'm saying. That's data driven.
Yeah.
So Nike was fine. Because they didn't care if Uncle Joe took his Nike Air Monarchs and burnt them. Them $47 shoes? Are you serious? Okay, Uncle Joe. Hey, have a good one.
The ones that you bought already?
Okay,
Yeah.
and you've been mowing the lawn in them for 14 years, and you're going to burn them now, and that's your stance against Nike? Nah, because it's 1,900 kids that are waiting for these shoes to drop, and they keep refreshing this Nike app, and they're about to spend $400 on these shoes. So we're going to be fine. Yeah. So that's what I mean when I say knowing what it is that you're supposed to be doing. That's data. So like I said, I didn't want you to get mad at me because I brought up Colin, because I know you love America and everything. But that's one of those things that I always try to look at the numbers and say they did all right doing what it is that they felt was right, because they had the backing of the people who actually are the core, consumers of their product.
Well, it sounds like maybe they made the right move for the business.
That's what it's. But and at the end of the day, that's what it's supposed to be about. How profitable can you be? How can you, I guess, have the the ecosystem of yes, being comfortable, but there's respect along all lines with everybody. Like we said, everybody's not going to be happy all the way, but you have to make sure that there is respect and the core people who've been there with you, rocking with you, who have given all their time. Hey, I want to make sure that these people are taken care of and doing well, versus, hey, this is something new that just popped up and we just need to change everything that we've stood on for the past X amount of years. Although we're doing right, and change can be good, but you don't have to change just because these people are telling you to.
I think it's both. I think Nike was doing the same thing that Planet Fitness was doing, but it was better thought out, because I feel like one gym was like, nope, we're definitely going to enforce this rule, and the CEO had no clue this was happening, of course, because he doesn't know what's going on in each gym.
Hey.
But with Nike, they were like, hey, here's an opportunity for us to capitalize on Colin Kaepernick's predicament, and whether you think he did the right thing or not, it doesn't matter. What does matter is that they stand behind their base's guy or whatever.
That's data.
Yeah.
That's it. That's just the truth right there, right in front of you. That's all it is.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think also the same could be said for. So I don't know how you answer the question of how comfortable do you make it for some versus many, because it's very situational.
Very much.
And I think from a business standpoint, that could be way different from like an organizational standpoint. Like, for example, city council or, a school board or, things like that, where you really do want to have as much, I guess, diversity in what would you say, perspective, when you're looking at all these different kids or like all these different people that make up your city, or just different things. But at the same time, we've seen it happen in a lot of other countries that are very a lot more progressive than the U.S. And like Sweden, for example, they made it mandatory for women to start being. They put out a bunch of money and effort into women getting into subjects that men were predominantly in, or professions that men were
like
predominantly
STEM stuff, sciences, technology,
stuff like science, technology, and all that.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening is they they ended up turning further away from it than that was. I mean, obviously, you had people go into those fields,
right?
But a lot of them ended up not completing their college and stuff like that, and being having kids and stuff like that. Which, I don't think that that's going to happen in every scenario, but I think it is just pays to how things are the way they are for a reason, usually.
Yeah.
If it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. Like, things in life are very logical and came about over time and not just, overnight. This is how it is. And so I think, going back to it, there are a lot of women that I know one of the struggles here is women believe that they are not paid enough or paid as much as men. It's not a fair situation. They're not given as many roles in power or leadership roles, different things like that. And I agree. I mean, I think that there's some room to grow in that situation, but I also believe that you can't force it. You have to find the right people for the job.
Right.
And forcing somebody to, a square peg in a round hole, that's just gonna make the situation worse. I think, especially like putting somebody that's not well qualified into whatever kind of role just because you want to hit a certain target of different people,
Yeah, I think so. I guess our two things that you said with the women and I think they said they get paid 75 cents to the dollar of men. But I think that's one of those things where the numbers don't fully add up. And it's, as you said, like in Sweden, when they were trying to promote women to go into those science, technology professions, those usually pay a little bit more because those are usually male predominantly roles and jobs, and a lot of women don't usually go for those. And I think they were trying to promote them to go into those versus the teachers, the librarians, the certain caregivers, not just nurses, but just caregiving and those things, to where they're not actually paid as much as some of those other fields. And I think that's where they're trying to compare, like, an engineer to a librarian. That's not right. You can't compare an engineer to a librarian. Compare an engineer that's a male to a female engineer. And I'm pretty sure those numbers are very close, because if we live in this capitalist society, and if a business and an organization is to bring in as much money, make as much money, if you're telling me that there's an engineer that is a man and I have to pay him $120,000, and then there's a woman engineer who has the same qualifications and I only have to pay her $95,000, you don't think I'm about to hire her to $95,000? Really? Are you crazy? And say that $35,000, I can put that on that plane I'm trying to get out there in Aspen, so I can get back and forth. I can save that money. Those are things where you have to be logical and really think about these things. Like I said, the numbers are the numbers for a reason. Don't compare an engineer to a librarian. Compare a male engineer to a female engineer. See what those numbers are. So you believe it's bogus? It's fugazi, just like WNBA, NBA. The NBA brings in a dumb, ridiculous amount of money. Like, it's so many insane. Advertisers. It's different. I want the women in the WNBA to be great and get all the money that they can, but I know more women that watch the NBA than the WNBA and complain that the women in the WNBA don't make as much money. I'm like, how many WNBA jerseys have you purchased? But you got 19 LeBron jerseys, because LeBron is awesome. You got 19 pair of Jordans. But how many Sue Bird shirts have you purchased? How much do you know about the WNBA? Exactly.
Who's the Michael Jordan of WNBA?
Hey, man, at the end of the day is going to end. You got there are quite a few women like Candace Parker. You got Cheryl Swoops. You got ladies who've done great. Rebecca Lobo, Sue Bird. All those. I mean, so there's been some Diana Taurasi. You got Caitlin Clark now, who's out there. Angel Reese. So I mean, there's some women, and things looks like they're trending up as well for them. But you just cannot compare the WNBA and the NBA. You just cannot. You can't do it. They can't make the same.
They're different animals.
It's totally different. Totally different what they're bringing in versus what the WNBA is bringing in. But the whole equity part of that, like you said, if you're talking about the school boards and the city councils, I'll just look at it. If you're in Highland Park and it's, you know, what, 98% Caucasian in Highland Park, then yeah, your council should be about 98% Caucasian. But if you're in a city and, you know, your demographics are, you know, your brown and blacks are, you know, 50 to 60%, you know, your high number, and all the council is white, I think that's a problem. And if none of the council members live in the community, I think that's another problem. So how can you?
That's weird too.
How can you effectively, you know, help this community? You don't live in the community, you don't vibe with the community, you're not a part of the community, but you're a community leader making rules and regulations for a community that you don't live in, or that you do not have any equity in or care for. So I think that can be looked at a different way as well. But hey, I think, like you said, every situation, I think we can look at it from a lens of how to make that situation better. It's not one size fit all, unfortunately. It's just not. It's not one of those one size fit all type of things, man.
So it's not, I guess, in my way of saying it, it's not going to be comfortable for everybody.
There's no way.
So you have to compromise, and you have to understand that lots of situations in life are going to be a compromise on your part. So whether you are a trans person or a hetero person or a LGBTQ, all the things person, or who, you know, whatever kind of person you are, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you're in a world full of people that have different perspectives than you, and you have to allow some grace and allow some understanding. And not everybody's going to want to learn what you do. Not everybody's going to want to know how to talk to you. Okay,
Right.
That's my perspective. I'm not going to learn everybody's pronouns. I'll call you by Susie or Jack or
Call your name.
you know, whatever. And I'll be respectful about it too.
Hey, we need you to move them pallets with all that paper on it to the back.
Yeah.
Come on, like that's what I need. I don't need to know all the ins and outs of everything of your personal life. Just move the pallets. That's all we need. Just move those pallets, and don't get mad if Susie want to put her gospel music on. That's another thing. Well, if Susie want to put her gospel music on, then hey, respect her and respect what it is that she's doing. Right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think everybody has something unique about them, and most of the time, it's kind of what makes you cool. What makes you have something unique to give to the world, for sure. And I think that's something that's beautiful about the human race, is that we are not all the same. And I mean, you know, identical twins can grow up and have such a different, you know, perspective in life.
Right.
You know,
Right.
So
Right. Yeah, that's true, man. But one thing that you have to stop giving to the world is a clean shaven face. So how about we not do that anymore?
yeah,
And,
it feels good, guys. I gotta say,
I don't like it.
It's been a while.
like
I haven't seen my own skin on my face in a bit, so I try to do this every once in a while, like quarterly. What? Really?
I can go without ever seeing it.
My wife hates it. She
We're the
hates,
same
and I'm
boat.
like, you hate my face, and she's like, yeah. So
Same boat. I'm with you. Same boat.
So yeah, it's kind of weird. Feels good though.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
a
sure
lot-
getting a nice little breeze and getting that feel on there is pretty different.
I mean,
so.
feels good.
Good,
Feels real
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Anyways,
Well, I'm a hairy guy, and I like to keep my hairs all together. But yeah,
I swear you shave your face once.
I'm not. It's not happening. It's not happening. It's not
Yeah.
happening, man. Not doing it. No, sir. Well, appreciate your perspective on that, Paul. And,
Yeah, you too, man.
Thank you for not hitting me when I had to talk a little bit about Nike and Colin Kaepernick, because we love Americas. I know we love them. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's really all about, you know, you being you being your best you being understanding to others. And like I said, you don't have to you don't have to just bend to the whims of everybody and all the ties that change and everything. You can be open-minded and still disagree, and
100%.
just disagree and
That's
continue
good.
to move on with your life and wish those people well in their lives. And
Yeah.
that's it. Like, we don't have to see eye to eye on this situation, but that doesn't mean that I hate you and that I wish, bad upon you and your family. We just don't see eye to eye on this one.
Right.
And that's just it at the end of the day. And the corporations, I think they're seeing now that you really have to poll your majority, poll not just a select few, but a majority of your people, and see what things will look like for the entire organization, and how can we get to a place to where things are at least copacetic, but as you say, compromise, that we have a resolution to this situation. How do we get to that? And if there's no way to get to that, then you don't need to make the change, because now you're just throwing a curveball and a wrench into everybody's world,
Yeah, it's really important for businesses to know their target market.
No,
And
that's it.
It's a big deal.
It's huge. Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for coming along this journey with us, and we've got plenty of more exciting episodes on the way.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Ray, what else you got?
Man, that's it. As always, if you guys are listening to us on Spotify, if you are watching us on YouTube, if you could give us a subscribe if you like the content that we had. We are on all social media platforms, and we're doing more interacting on some platforms as well. So if you have any questions, or if you would like to add anything to what we've discussed today, as far as anything that's changed maybe in your personal life or in your professional life when it comes to any inclusion or any diversity, having to speak about having equity into the company or organization that you're a part of, share that with us. We like to know everybody's experience and things that you've seen, things that worked for you all, and things that had to come to an end because it was just in a place to where things just weren't getting taken care of. So share those things with us. We love growing just as much as we like to help everyone grow and see things from a different perspective as well. So we always appreciate the engagement and the conversations that we're able to have with you guys. So we appreciate you. So, my name is Ray, and this is my buddy Paul. We are the No Color Thick Skin podcast. As always, we really appreciate you guys rocking with us, and we'll see y'all next time. Be safe.
Bye, y'all.
Peace.